I love talking about this. I think this is one of the most interesting things out there in this, you know, this space that I'm in, right, if you will. I love talking about female leadership versus male leadership. And a part of me, I honestly, I get off on like pissing off red pillars like that. I ain't gonna even lie. Like a part of my approach, I like pissing off red pillars. I don't know. I think it's good for the culture. They need to be agitated. They need to be upset. And I would rather them be upset with me than to be taking that shit out on women. So I dig it. I personally like it. But talking about leadership and talking about how women are, to me, significantly better leaders than men. Um, and I could say that like with my whole chest and have like a lot of evidence and objective truths to support that. It's just a really, really good feeling.
Women make better CEOs. There is a better understanding of the human dynamic. Women come up to me more often than men, and they get my work much better. Men come up to me and ask for case studies. Men want me to prove that trusting people, loving people, taking care of people is a good thing for business. Women inherently understand that and make decisions accordingly.
And the reason why it's hard for men to conceptualize, that if you take care of people, they'll take care of you, is because everything that men do is transactional, right? But a part of what men also believe is to never give more than you're getting back, right? Like always be worried about and always be concerned with that exchange, right? So, if you guys know what BTUs are, so like, the measurements of energy that we use to, I guess, I don't know how to say it. They basically is like the measurements of energy that we use in our bodies, right? So BTUs, right? Like what we give off, the energy that we give off or we produce or whatever you want to say. So if you look at it like this, it's like men are saying, I'm getting 50 units of BPUs versus me putting out 35 units. And that's in good exchange for the man. I'm saying in that case, right? Like he's thinking like, oh, that's a good exchange. Yes. Women don't think like that. Women do not. That is not how most women think. Most women are like, oh, there is a job or a need that I need to fill, right? And I will fill that need. And it doesn't matter however many BTUs I put out there, I need to fill it because somebody needs to do it, right? And women operate on this very, oh man, I don't know the word for this, but it's like the way that the system is, it's in their minds. I think they think like, oh, because I'm doing it, then yes, somebody else is gonna, like if I need help or if I need it, I'll just get some from somebody else, right? Or I'll replenish myself some other, like that's how women think. They're not thinking like, oh, I need to put out all of these units and I need to get back X amount of units in return, which you would think flies in the face of like human nature, right? Like if you listen to men will have you believe that is a raw deal in society and that's not sustainable. But obviously, if you really assess it, that's the only way for society to flourish. It's for most people or enough people to have that thought process. And in our society, we actually do have a good amount of people that do have that thought process, and most of them are women. Now, when you apply this approach to management or ownership or CEO or whatever the case may be, right? Leadership roles, what you will find is women are not in these positions, for like self-serving reasons. They're there to fill a role, to, you know what I mean? Like to fill a need, right? Hey, they needed leadership. I'm here. How can I lead? How can I help people? Whereas men are like, okay, there is a role for me and, or there's a role that's there, and that role is that of a leader. And what a leader is somebody who sits back and dictates to everybody else what they need to do. And that's what I want to do, because it makes me feel better to know that I've reached this level where I can just dictate to everybody what they need to do and where they need to go. That's that. As far as a man is concerned, that is making it, right? If you listen to a lot of men, I just listened to a man a couple minutes ago. He was talking about, he said it like several times. I was only talking to him, not even talking to him. It was just in the comments of a section. He said several times that he owned his own business. He was like, I own my own business. And I was just like, cool, fine. But like, you know, if you listen to men who own their own businesses, it doesn't matter how much money the business generates. It doesn't matter the level of success, just that they don't have to listen to somebody else, and don't let them have people underneath them, right? Oh my God. Yeah, I own my own business. I got 9 employees. Yeah, I got people that work for. Men love that shit. So men are taught that is like the pinnacle of success, is not having somebody over you, or how many people you have underneath you, right? Women judge their success in leadership roles on the group, on the performance of the group, right? How does the group perform? Not my position or my station in life. How does the group perform?
She said one of the big lessons she learned is there is such thing as female leadership. A friend of mine who 3 things happened to her simultaneously. She's in the military. 3 things happened to her simultaneously. Any one of them would be difficult, but all 3 of them happened to her at the same time. She was promoted to senior management. She was deployed for 13 months, and she was given her very first command. She took over a job where the previous 5 leaders had all been fired. She would be working with people from different forces. So she's in the Air Force. She'd have Air Force and Army reporting to her, some of whom were much older than her and much more experienced than her. And she is a hard-driving, passionate young officer who said, I'm going to turn this group around, and I'm going to prove to everybody that I can turn it around. And it was a failure. They were ignoring her. They weren't taking her seriously. No matter how she powered up, it didn't work. Every night she would cry herself to sleep and started regretting being in the military. She didn't know what to do. She was failing. And so she decided to give up. So if I'm going to fail at my job, then and I'm stuck here for another 6 months, and so is everybody else, I'm going to change my mandate. Then instead of turning this group around, I'm just going to ensure that the rest of their time here, they really enjoy it. I'm just going to make it more fun for them to come to work every day, because they're also away from their families and stuff. And then something strange really started to happen. They started to listen to her, take her seriously. They started to respect her more. She ended up being very, very high performing at the end, and the group completely turned around. On her way in, she made it about herself, and she made it about the metrics, and she made it about the performance. The lesson she learned was, if you make it about the people, then the people will take care of everything else. And she had a conversation with one of the army, one of the soldiers, and like, why didn't you listen to me? Like, why was it so difficult? Why did we struggle? And he said point blank, because when a male officer yells at me, I take it, I hear it, I move on, right? It's fine. When you yelled at me, I felt like my mother was yelling at me, and it was more difficult, you know? So there are gender differences in how we respond to each other, because it is a mom-dad thing, right? We respond differently. Men are sometimes, not always, but men are sometimes better at just being told blank by another guy, just do this. And you go, okay, well, I'll just do it. But when you create gender, it creates all kinds of other interpretations and associations, like our mothers. So I think we cannot discount those. You know, traditional male leadership qualities are things like decisiveness, aggression, you know, those kinds of things. Traditional female qualities are things like patience, you know, maternal instinct, empathy. And I think the mistake we've made across all leadership is we teach male leadership. We teach decisiveness, and we teach aggression. And these are the things we teach. We teach that to everybody. And the reality is what makes great leaders is they have a balance. And what we should be teaching is more of female leadership. All leaders should take on the qualities of patience and empathy. This is the irony. I think we do need to teach those skills. I mean, those goes back to what we were saying before. These are those human skills. And so, yeah, I think female leadership and those qualities are just necessary everywhere. But yes, there are differences, and they cannot be discounted.
And we talk about this. I know I talk about this all the time about how empathy is, to me, the cornerstone of good leadership. Being able to put yourself in the shoes of other people and the people that are in, you know, like in your group or in the group that you're leading or whatever, it's paramount. Like that, like we need that. If you don't have that, it's damn near impossible. Like I cannot wrap my brain around the idea that you could still be an effective leader. You know what I mean? So, With that being said, it seems almost by default that women are better leaders because we know men just lack we lack that. We just don't have it. We don't have empathy. It's been bred out of us. It's been bled out of us. It's been beaten out of us. You know what I mean? It's been coerced out of us. It's been lied out of it. Like, it's been socialized out of us. Like, that's what happened. Now you're a leader, and then you try to compensate for that stuff with those other characteristics that gentleman was talking about, which is like aggression and things of that nature. Well, since I'm not going to be able to understand you, shut up and do it because I told you so. Buck up and watch you get fired, written up, chastised, things of that nature. That's how males lead, unfortunately. That's how men lead. And he's saying that. He's saying like these characteristics that men have, right? That we think embody or that embody leadership are to me the two things he named. I was like, I mean, when do you really need to be aggressive as a leader? like once again, and I talk about this all the time. Aggression isn't a good or a bad thing. It's a thing. It could be good. It could be bad. Empathy is always a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, maybe not always, 99.9% of the time. Empathy is a good thing. Patience, almost always going to be a good thing. It is a standalone good thing. It's not like, well, patience is like it could be a good or a bad thing. No. It could. You could definitely wait too long or be too patient or whatever. Fine. Yep. But typically, being patient is a good thing. You will do less harm being patient than you would being reactionary, right? Reacting to stuff, being compulsive, being impulsive. Being patient will save you way more than those other things, right? Fine. So we know most of the time it's a good thing. Once again, aggression in most cases, I would say is actually bad, but at best is 50-50. At best. So even the characteristics that you would ascribe to or attribute to men, that you would attribute to men, are not standalone good characteristics. They have to be coupled with something else, right? Yes, it's cool to be aggression. It's cool to be aggressive, but I want an aggressive person that knows patience as well. You know what I mean? Because if you're go all the time, you're going to get us hurt. But if you're patient most of the time and then boom, now it's time to be aggressive, right? So I need you to have discernment. So I need you to be patient and have discernment with your aggression. Now you're a great leader. Now that's a great leadership quality, right? It's like trying to get a complex carb or a protein, right? Without eating meat, right? It's like you're supposed to eat beans and rice. Beans and rice is a perfect protein. You know what I mean? It's a perfect protein. Got the just, right amount of protein, little complex carb, whatever. There you go. With the rice. Fine. That's how aggression is. That's how a lot of male leadership is. It has to come with other things to make it good. Men's version of leadership, the male version of leadership, isn't on its face a good version or the best way to lead at all. And now I think that it's hard for us as a society, but specifically men, it's hard for us to accept this as the truth. It's hard for us to really understand that the qualities that most women embody are actually the qualities that you need to be a good leader, right? The qualities that you would attribute to feminism, or I'm sorry, femininity, are actually the things that we need most in being an effective leader, right? And here's why.
With a masculine approach is because on some subconscious level, leadership with a masculine associate leadership with a masculine approach is because on some subconscious level, I am equating leaders with
The heck?
Part of the reason that I associate leadership with a masculine approach is because on some subconscious level, I am equating leaders with men. But I actually think if someone were to assess objectively the facts that we have laid out, they'd probably look at the feminine style and go, well, that's far more sophisticated. I don't want to use the word superior, but I kind of want to. We'll say it's the more sophisticated approach.
Sophisticated, superior, sustainable. I said it.
Ooh.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why, because we've been conditioned to think that leadership is a male role. It's something that men are supposed to feel. And so when we talk about how we need to feminize leadership, it rubs, specifically men, it rubs a lot of men the wrong way. Men get weirded out by that. They don't want, oh, what do you mean feminize? Yes, we need to feminize leadership. Leadership needs a heavy dose of feminism, as most things do in this world, right? But specifically leadership.